video. I'm live. Um, Actually, I did not have enough time to get a video out for today. I have like 5 filmed, and none of them are edited at all. So I don't know. I need to get my butt in gear. But I have been on the road for a while, and some of you may have seen. I went to Tennessee for a work trip, and while I was there, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so close to Tail of the Dragon, and my buddy's doing Wookiees in the Woods, so it's been on my bucket list for a long time. So I went to Wookiees in the Woods, in my Supra, and like I was gonna say like I crashed all the Volkswagens, but I didn't, obviously I didn't crash. I showed up. And surprised my friends that have Volkswagens. It's a really cool event, and some of you may know that I started out in this field because of Volkswagens. They're like the gateway drug. My Mark One Rabbit. So I used to go to a lot of Volkswagen events. Never made it to Wookiees in the Woods, so this was my first time. So anyway, I came home and I totally forgot I had ordered a bunch of parts. So today it's just like kind of quiet in the shop. Danny and Shop Mom are in New York at the New York Auto Show. They're like, I guess it's not actually like the auto show itself, but there's like a separate like parts show that they're a part of, sponsored by eBay Motors. So we're all like really, really, really proud of them, and I miss them. So it's very quiet in here, as you can hear. Like it's just me. Hi everyone. Oh my gosh, hi. Why does that stick have bumps? So this, I just figured I'd show you this today. I have had so many questions on my last video, and I've had a really hard time like keeping up with all of them. So I figured, you know what better thing to do today? I was gonna measure these stock 7M cams anyway, but I figured I would just put them on the Cam Doctor for y'all. I was like, I'm kind of unboxing them. I don't do unboxing videos, so this is not an unboxing video, people. They just got in, and so I'm just taking them out of the box right now. So I found these. I found these used. There's like an Instagram page that's like Mark III Supra buy sell trade, and I'm always on there buying things that I don't need. These I do need though. Some of you know Project 88 that's like on hold right now because of like block issues. Oh my god, so many chats. Wow, I can't even keep up. Oh my gosh, hi people. Oh, someone's getting a new Supra, or not like a new Supra, but new to them Supra, a 91. Oh my god. That is amazing. I'm really happy for you. God, the world needs more Mark III Supras, so that I can rob all the parts off them. But actually, this is for, come here, these camshafts are stock 7M GTE, which I bought because I'm gonna use them in Project 88, because, so you remember, those are, or the engine is as a non-turbo, and so the camshafts are non-turbo, and there is a difference in, I think only the intake cam is different. Maybe it's only the exhaust cam. One of them is different. I think it's the intake cam. I can't remember. But anyway, I just picked these up. However, I might not even end up using these. Oh, actually. Oh. Yeah, I might not end up using these at all. They're a little rough. I mean, I guess we'll see when I take measurements, but check these out. Look at these. I mean, they looked good in the pictures. What is going on here? I mean, it's probably just the way it looks. It's probably fine. They're probably fine. So I'm gonna put these on the Cam Doctor and just see what's up. I don't even know. I think. Oh yeah, so the factory lift is 297,000. So we've got 2 Cam Doctors going on here. Actually, kind of cool, crazy story. The one that I'm working on right now is one that Danny built. Like, he made this. I don't know. Danny's amazing. He can do anything. So this is the one that I've been using that I feel really comfortable with. And then over here we have like an actual like hide, you can't even see. Over here is like a super like high dollar Cam Doctor that Danny found. I think on eBay. Of course he found it on eBay. It's Danny. And the cool story with this cam doctor is that Danny had placed a bid on it, and like everyone was just placing a whole bunch of like lowball offers, and he ended up reaching out to the person who was selling it. And it was this older lady, and her husband had passed away and left all the stuff, and she didn't know what all this stuff was worth. So Danny just reached out to her and said, you absolutely should not sell that for just a few $100s. He's like, this is what I'm offering because this is all that I have to offer you. However, that this is not what this is worth at all. And he sort of helped guide her and let her know like what everything was worth. Long story short, she ended up not selling it to him, but she gave it to him, along with tons of books that her husband had on camshafts. So when Danny was making reference in my last video about this cam doctor and my Crowder camshafts, he was literally telling a story about how he started like reading all of those books from this guy, and it just like was blowing his mind a little bit. And he's like, man, the more I learn about camshafts, the more I realize I don't know anything about camshafts. And I was like, isn't that life though? I mean, I remember being like 17 and thinking that I knew it all. I remember like, making decent money at a job and being like, I don't need my parents. I don't need to know anything. Like I know it all. Like, look at me. I'm independent. And the older I get, the more I realize, oh my God, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. So I definitely don't know anything about camshafts. I'm not pretending to know anything about camshafts to be professional. I'm just gonna put this factory camshaft. Which is this one? This is the exhaust camshaft, because we've got the little gear for the camshaft position sensor. I'm just gonna put this on the cam doctor, and I'm just gonna measure the lift of this thing, and I just want to see like side by side comparison what it's like to the hand ground Brian Crowder upgraded cams. So, oh my God, 101 people in the room. I'm not nervous at all. I'm not nervous at all. I'm very nervous. Actually, I was planning on doing this live stream at like 3, and I've been putting it off because I have no Danny here, and I forget like, whew, he's like, I don't know, he's like my little cushion of protection, I guess, and I have no shop mom to manage the comments. Oh God. Oh, hi, Jessica. Jessica says always in training. We are always in training. Absolutely, Jessica. That's amazing. Lon says, yeah, learning. It's a lifelong process. Knowledge is power. Oh, I miss you guys. I miss you guys so much. Let's see. Is it still 90 degrees? Got your fan on. I turned the fan off because I didn't want it to blow away. The sound quality. But yeah, it's extremely hot here. But that's okay, because last weekend I was driving in snow and I left when it was 90 degrees, and I did not pack my clothes accordingly. And I was extremely cold. I had like the weirdest layers on. I was not prepared. I had like leggings and socks and like 2 pairs of shorts over my legging. It was, yeah. There's a reason why I didn't put myself in that video. Oh my gosh, thanks everyone so much for being here. This is, I mean, wow, like such a, someone has a Mark IV Golf. I will say that like, I remember back in 2008 when I joined the local Volkswagen club in New England. I say like joined. I just sort of showed up for a bunch of meetings and was like sort of active. I remember like looking at all the cars and thinking to myself, oh my God, like someday I really want a Mark IV R32. And that's sort of where the name Wookiees in the Woods came from. Because there's that something like so cool about that VR6 engine. I had a Mark III GTI with a VR6 engine. So I'm speaking from experience, as well as just they have like this reputation for having a really cool sound. And I'm not sure exactly what it is that makes the sound so cool, but I mean, I think it's like the shape of the engine. It's a V6, but it has like a single cylinder head. If you're unfamiliar with these cool engines. And so like something about the way that I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know, but some sort of like crazy geometry runner length, I'm not sure, makes them have such a cool sound. And then add an aftermarket exhaust and they sound like Wookiees. They do. So like, I mean, I was sitting on one of these little turnouts where one of the photographers were just listening to these cars, and like you couldn't you couldn't see them yet, but you could hear them like coming through the woods, and it sounded like uh, it was just it was like eerily creepy hearing them all. Like if I didn't know that they were cars, I'd be like, there's there's Wookiees in the woods. Anyway, so setting up these two now. I this is funny. I just had actually the our local metal recycler at my house picking up some scrap metal that I had laying around, and I was reminded that he is our local scrap guy is where we get a lot of awesome stuff. People with a lot of money throw away a lot of stuff that's like worth so much. So as I'm adjusting and getting my camshaft set up here, oh, you can't see it all, can you? Let me see if do I need to get a better angle so you can actually see yeah, there you go. Can you see it all right? I think. So as I get this set up, I'm using these little quick releases here. These little quick releases so I can move the little roller bearings around onto this one's a little tricky, so we'll see. I might have to move that one a little more. These are from a bicycle. These are a bicycle that was thrown away, like like the quick release wheels. So do you see? Isn't that creative? Like, man, Danny is so creative. So I mean, it's definitely different than this one over here. I'm not sure you can see. We've got this handle here to release. And it's actually the camshaft is being held on either end. Can you see that? With these little, I don't know what you call them, but just like sort of rounded bearing ends that are going into the side of the camshaft. And here we've actually got like roller bearings that are sitting here on the journals. I'm just making sure you can see. Let's see. Someone's asking me, people are asking me all sorts of questions. I can't keep up. Are you interested in motorcycles, riding, or fixing? I mean, I had my endorsement. When I moved to Texas, I forgot to, I guess, let them know. DMV did not notice that I had an endorsement. So if I was to, so I'll have to like take the class again, which I don't really have time to do. My husband has a motorcycle. I don't want to be a motorcycle mechanic, but his has electrical problems. So I've found that I've been doing way more motorcycle mechanicking than I ever wanted to. No, I'm not interested in being a motorcycle mechanic. I'd ride one again, maybe. Okay, so now I've got it set up. Just these little roller bearings. And what's interesting about these is I think these are skateboard bearings. Anyway, this is just proof that you can totally, I mean, you can make your own. You can make your own cam doctor if you want to, if you're creative. So what does a cam actually do in a motor? It controls the opening and closing of the valves. And I mean, in a nutshell, it's just like that. It seems like it's a super easy thing to understand, but there is so much that goes into it. Right now, what I'm about to measure is the lift. What did I say it was? 297 thousandths of an inch is a stock lift for the stock 7M GTE camshafts, both intake and exhaust. And that's sort of the same thing with I saw with the Brian Crowder camshafts. They had the same lift for intake and exhaust. So basically, like, the lift is the height of the lobe. That measurement is the lift, and it's just how, I mean, it's sounds like lift, like you're lifting something up, but really in theory it's pushing down on the valve for opening. So the more lift you have, like the more open the valve is, and that's good for a whole bunch of reasons. I mean, well, it's good to have a lot of lift for a bunch of reasons. It allows the engine to breathe better, get more air in, get that like burnt exhaust out even faster. So you want a good amount of lift, especially for aftermarket, like performance camshafts, like the Brian Crowder ones that I had. And in the video, I was talking about the lift and how the numbers were different than advertised, but they were all like higher than advertised. So like I get like a little more lift. That's not a bad thing. Then of course there's the duration. So how long is the valve held open? And like I said, please, like this is like so basic. I am I'm not a camshaft specialist by any means, but so how long the valve is held open is sort of determined by like the width of this section, and that's also important for a whole bunch of reasons. How long the valve is held open, it needs to be held open long enough to get enough air in, held open long enough to get enough exhaust gases out, and then there's also like the overlap. So at what point are both of the valves open during like certain points in the combustion cycle? So I don't know. I mean, it's really important. I'm not going to pretend to know that I'm not going to pretend to be an expert for sure. So this, what we have here, I think this is a roller bearing from a, did you say it was from a Chevy 350? I can't remember, but we have a little roller bearing here. And on this actual cam doctor, that is like, you know, the several $1,000, probably actually way more than that, extremely expensive, high dollar, like extremely precise, professional level cam doctor over here. We have this really cool, I don't know if you can see the, like, I don't know what to call it, but like the plunger on here has this round tipped end. So we're using this roller bearing, which of course is like meant to be on the end of a, like this rolls on the end of the camshaft. So it's like, this is meant to, yeah, roll with it. And this is going to give us an accurate reading. Like I said, that was where I had gone wrong initially, because Danny had asked me if I had measured the lift, and I was like, no, like, why would I do that? It doesn't make any sense. And so I was like trying to stick a dial indicator on there, and I'm like, man, like with my stupid little, oh, here, I got it right here, actually. I mean, this is like the one that I made for measuring the, you know, for actually degreeing the cams, which I had mentioned, by the way. Some of you asked why I started making my videos, and I made like, for the camshaft, the degree in the camshaft series, like why I started with like part 2. I have not done part 1 yet, people, because I messed up. I mean, we're all human, right? But one of them was good. The second one was not so good, as we saw. The reason why I took the camshafts out to begin with is because I wasn't getting the right numbers, and so I thought like either the camshafts are really wrong or I'm not setting up the dial indicator properly. It's like, man, I know how to set up a dial indicator, but let me just say the 7M is super tricky. It's really tricky. It's just got very little space, and so video 1 is going to be WD-40 is a good nail polish remover. Really? These are stickers. These are stickers on. Like, you know, I can't actually keep nail polish on, but the stickers stay. I'm stoked on them. But part 1 is going to be like how to actually set up a dial indicator on the 7M, and I just want to make sure that I nail it before I put that video out. Obviously, I don't want to put out bad information. I don't know. I want to be, I'm putting out DIY videos. It has to be like how to do it, not how to mess it up, right? So so yeah, I just and I had already noted that point, that my dial indicator setup was not perfect. So I'm just like, we're moving on to part 2 first. and then we can do the rest. Actually, you know, and I meant to tell you guys, like, there's the reason why I might not even use these in Project 88 is because there's like a really awesome endpoint to that video. Now I was about to be on the road, so I scheduled that video, and I produced it kind of quick. You know, it's like, YouTube is not my full-time job, people. Like, I wish it was. That'd be awesome. But I don't make very much money on it. I don't really take sponsors, which I should, but it's like sort of a challenge. And I'm not dedicating like a ton of time to it. I just sort of do it in my free time, which is few and far between. So, you know, it's you kind of get the best of my spare time with my YouTube videos. But I'm still extremely grateful for everyone who follows my YouTube channel and for watching my videos. It means a lot to me, because someday I'll get there. Right now I'm just a wannabe YouTuber. So anyway, I've got my little Chevy 350 roller bearing in there. But anyway, so long story short was, I felt like I didn't do a really good job explaining why I was so stoked about the BC cams, which are back in my engine, by the way. I put them back in. So the moral of that story was not like I'm pissed off at Brian Crowder and the camshafts suck. Like, in fact, it was quite the opposite. Like, I was so, first of all, I was not expecting to talk to Brian. That was not planned. That whole video was just like, I was flying by the seat of my pants. I had no idea what to expect out of that. Cheers. It's after 5 o'clock here, so we're good. The point, like, after I figured out that I kind of like messed up the dial indicator, I'm like, I don't, well, what's this video gonna even be about? I couldn't believe that I got him on the phone. I couldn't believe that he was kind enough to just be candid with me and honest, and then also let me record it. Like, that was completely unplanned. And then later on, he actually reached out to me and is gonna send me a set of CNC ground camshafts for my 7M build. That's right. I know. I'm so excited about it, you guys. Sorry, I'm getting like, ooh, dry throat. I'm so allergic to the cedars right now, so forgive me. I'm a little puffy right now. Like, my eyes are like almost like allergy puffed closed right now. Like, I'm so, I came back and the cedars were in bloom. So anyway, like, yeah, Brian reached out to me on Instagram and said, you know what, I'm gonna send you a set of CNC ground camshafts for your 7M build, so you can put them on your Cam Doctor and you can compare, you know, like human ground versus CNC ground. I'm like, all right. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna put the CNC ground cams in my, you know, my precious build that's taking up my entire heart and my entire life. Well, not my entire heart. Sorry, Brandon. My entire automotive heart. And I don't know. I guess I'll put the other ones in Project 88 because they're still good. Like, they're still great. And I think that was the thing. Like, first of all, it made me trust the company even more. And also, like, I totally get it. Like, I wouldn't waste a ton of time on CNC grinding a part that's not really, I don't want to say like, oh, I don't know. I love the 7M. It's okay that it's not that popular because then it makes it even cooler for me. Like, I don't want to do the popular stuff, and then that wouldn't be cool if I was doing the popular stuff. Okay, people. All right. So anyway, so I've got my first lobe here, and I'm just like moving this along. So I'm finding my base circle, and I'm gonna zero it out and make sure that I've also got enough lift. No, I gotta move this down a little bit. Move my little roller onto the base circle so that it lifts just enough, but not too much. There we go. That's gonna be good. Hey guys, oh my god, so many. Yes, the tree allergies suck. I'm allergic to everything. It's amazing. Like, that's why traveling is so hard on me, you guys. Like, I am allergic to everything. I'm not a picky eater, but food does not like me. And you can tell I'm like a little bit congested right now. So, well, I'm doing my best, but I'm like low energy people. If you can't already tell, I'm like super low energy today. So, all right, so I'm finding my base circle and I'm zeroing it out. And oh, you know what? I don't want to write over my numbers because these are my original numbers. So let me just make sure that I didn't miss any questions. Hi, people. Lon, I didn't know you were in Dallas. I'm in Dallas all the time. Oh, hi, Sammy. Oh my gosh. No diggity. You watched my karaoke video, looks like. Oh, thanks, you guys. It means a lot to me that you watch my videos because, I don't know, it's if I didn't like making them, I wouldn't do it because they literally suck up every single ounce of free time that I have. So I really do enjoy making them, just for like, just my own thing. But it means a lot to me, knowing that y'all love them. Actually, I was in the airport recently. Well, I'm always in the airport. I hate traveling by plane, by the way. So if you see me in the airport, just know that I am at like my worst. I hate the airport. I hate going through TSA. I hate dealing with the harassment. I hate getting felt up by the TSA security agents. I always throw red flags for something. I don't know. Um, it's like I usually get pulled off into like the separate room and get like felt up like in a private area. Like, ugh, it's terrible. So I hate traveling. So if you see me in the airport, leave me alone. But if you don't, I had the greatest compliment from some random person when I was eating tacos. Here we go. I got a pen. And he came up to me and said that he watched my YouTube videos, and because of my YouTube videos, he had the, there we go. I'm gonna zero it out. I gave him the courage to do his own timing belt on his Forerunner, and it saved him like $1,000, and that made me so happy. It was just like such a human moment, and just made me feel awesome, because it's like there's my target audience, the people that I want to reach right there, just like a normal person with the old Forerunner who loves it. Okay, so I've got my first one. What am I trying to get again? 297. Wow. All right, what do you guys what do you think? My first cam lobe measured on this used, clearly rough. Like this is, I mean, I didn't pay very much for these, so don't feel bad for me. I mean, I think like shipped, I paid like $100 for these. So like don't, this is not a pity party. This is a beautiful thing. So we got these rough camshafts right here. 7M GTE OE camshafts. And the factory, the OEM spec is 297 thousandths. And I'm just going. I got the exhaust cam here. So the exhaust cam is going to take a little bit more of a beating. And one thing I noticed too about this is like you can't just take one reading. Oops. And there was a hair on this one. So just for reference, I always love to, it's like when I was talking to Brian and telling him about how far the measurements were off, it was like 3 hairs. Like 3 hairs was like the maximum. What are they, like 3 or 4 thousandths is like the measurement of a human hair. Mine with all the dye on them is probably like a little bit more. All the bleach and all the dye. This is crazy. That's not what I was expecting at all. All right. What do y'all think? So if I spin the camshaft forward versus spinning it backwards, I get different numbers. I think it's more accurate when I spin it backwards, but it's like, when I say different numbers, I mean like we're off by like 1 or like 0.5 thousandths of an inch. So, oh, God, 140 people in the room. I'm nervous. Hey guys. Oh my gosh. Old school. Is this old school? Is this old school tools? I mean, dial indicator, I get. No, am I doing old school stuff? This is new to me. I'm excited about it. I dislike height, so I just drive. Oh my gosh, me too. I prefer to drive. I way prefer to drive over fly. I will always drive over fly. That's why I got the new Supra, actually. Oh, Steven, the timing belt video was the best. Oh, thank you so much. I slaved over. I mean, I didn't slave over it, but like, you know, normally the timing belt job would take me like 3 hours. It took me 2 days with filming it, you know, because I tried so hard to like do all the lighting. I didn't have good lighting in the shop at the time, and then just like setting up the camera and everything. Because I think when I made that video, I didn't even have a camera. I just had my phone, my Samsung Galaxy S. Shoot, it's an older one. I always mess it up. It's either an S6 or an S7, and no matter which one I say, it's gonna be the other one. So I filmed it on my S7, I guess. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. Anthony says he can watch me measure all day. Well, you're about to, because I'm only on one, and we're 29 minutes into this video. So 229, okay, all right. 287 thousandths, 285 thousandths. Hey, Scott. Hi from Houston, Texas. Oh, hey, neighbor. What are you, 4 hours away from me? 287 thousandths. Wouldn't that be lash? No, this is actual lift. So the lash is not included in this measurement. And that's such a good question, because I had that question a whole bunch in my last video. So on the cam card, it said that the lift was the actual lift. And so when I found the measurement for this camshaft, the OEM, it was the same thing. It said actual lift. So I'm measuring actual lift, not factoring in the lash. But that's such a good question. Um, Mic it. Yeah, I could. I think miking it's gonna be a lot harder. Don't you think? Because right now it's like look how easy. Oh, you can't see. That's why. All right. Well, let me make sure you can see, and then you can see my beverage. That's about the only thing you can see right now. Maybe I need to set up this camera a little differently. What do you guys think? Neighbors in Arkansas. Hello. I was just there. I was just there in Arkansas. In a beautiful state. Okay. So well, beverage aside. So look how. And I had a few people ask me like, wouldn't it be easier to measure it with just I don't know, yeah, calipers. Um, God, I'm sorry, I'm so allergic to the pollen right now. I'm struggling. Yeah, wouldn't it be easier to mic it? Um, Tell me how much easier this is. So look, I've got this all set up. I mean, yes, I've got to take them, I've got to remove them, but I think in order to get like a really accurate measurement, miking them, you'd have to remove the camshafts too. I mean, you'd have to, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so look at this though. So I'm on the base circle right now, and I know you can't see this, but I'm looking at it, and it's we've got 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I'm gonna hit the 0 a million times. Make sure that I'm like totally zeroed out, and then as I rotate it backwards, I'm just watching the measurement right there, and I just sort of hang out at the top there, and I'm getting 297 thousandths. This shit is stock. That is measuring exactly what it should. What did I say? 297? 297. Wow. So I mean but that's it though. And also, so this too, this is not just an analog measurement, or I mean, obviously it has a digital readout, but one thing that I should note that a couple people sort of commented on my, I think Instagram about, is like how hard it would be for me to make sure that I'm actually getting the proper measurement. This is also, so there's also an electronic component to this. So there's, I don't know if you can see behind here, Danny is like kind of brilliant and like sort of map this all out. So I can electronically map this entire camshaft, and then I can get all the measurements at the end. So I can just quickly boom, 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 measure every single lobe and have it like digitally recorded for me. So I don't know. Do you really think it's easier to mic it? Whoa, who gave me $5? Someone bought me a coffee. I'm extremely grateful. I am extremely grateful for that. Or you bought me another beverage. Which these I'm so snobby about my beverages. This is a tart raspberry. My eyesight is so bad right now. I'm like, my eyes are so dry from my allergies. This is tart raspberry. This is, you guys, this is vibrationally infused. Oh. All right, well, you know how I feel about vibrations and frequencies and resonant frequency. So maybe this is raising my resonant frequency. We'll see. All right, so we got 297. So much like, I don't know if you can see, no, you can't see this. So like I was saying, this is all made, well, you can literally see what this is made of. Like you too can make your own cam doctor. What do you get this? Can you get this on, maybe on Amazon? You can get this at Home Depot, maybe. Shoot, I'm forgetting what this is called. It'll come to me. But this is a, here we go, our bicycle quick release tab, holding this in place. And that's not making it sketch at all, because there we are, and I'm hitting 0. So we're zeroed out. We're perfectly zeroed out. But in the back as well, we have another bicycle quick release. And then I'm just gonna lift up on our little roller there and close it. Is that just the most brilliant thing? That's brilliant. Who gave me $5? I want to give him some love. Where are you? I can't even see. Lawn, dude, lawnmower. For taco, that's it. Thank you. So yeah, here I was thinking it was coffee. I'm focused on beverages. I'm like, it's either coffee or beer. But tacos is even better. I'll get tacos. I love tacos. I like fish tacos. People hate fish tacos. I love them. um, dial is fine. Okay. Allergies. I know. Hey, Camaro Justin. Haven't seen you in a while. By the way, y'all, a week from today, we're doing book club again, but we're doing it on Danny's channel this time. Because he's we can live stream from his channel now. So if you're in book club, definitely hit us up next week and we'll see ya. Davey Mack is asking, how did the call with the manufacturer go? It went awesome. It was so good. It was not what I expected at all. If you had told me that I was gonna talk to Brian on the phone, I probably would have been too nervous to call. I probably would not have called. So I'm glad that I wasn't planning it. And at first, I actually, when I called, I talked to someone. Well, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to throw him onto the bus because he was knowledgeable and he was fine. But like he was like when I first spoke to someone, he was like extremely dismissive. He's like, it's fine. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I know it's fine. I'm not stupid. I know that if these are all like a couple of my hairs apart, or like I said, with all the dye on them, maybe it's just one hair apart. Like, I know my engine doesn't care. I just want to know why. I just wanted to know why. Like, because what, I don't know. And especially after Danny had talked about like how camshafts used to be ground and, you know, now with all the advancements in technology with like, you know, CNC grinding and everything like that, like, and regrinding, and especially like Brian Crowder does like crazy services. Like they weld and regrind, they custom make camshafts. I'm just like, whoa. That's like way over my head, like way out of my league. And so also like when I took the measurements, I'm just like, oh, like why are mine not what I was expecting? And that's not to say that they're bad. Like they're not bad. I already put them back in. Like I know they're gonna be fine. I just wanted to know why. So after talking to Brian and explaining that, like, hey, like, is it acceptable? Well, like, of course it's acceptable. Like, no, your engine isn't gonna see it. I'm like, yeah, I know my engine's not gonna see it. It's not gonna know. But then he said, but is it acceptable? Like, no, that's not the standard that we like to hold ourselves to. And I was just like, damn, he didn't have to tell me that. He didn't have to tell all y'all that. You know, I told him that I was making it for a YouTube channel. I don't think he knew who I was. Like, I don't think he's ever watched my YouTube or anything like that. Like, I don't think he's like, ooh, I better be like on point for like Faye's little piddly YouTube channel that she's like, you know, struggling to make it with here. He was just treating me like a normal person. Like I'm just somebody that called. So yeah, I originally talked to someone else and I'm just like, hey, well, do you mind if I like record this for my channel? And he was like, ooh, let me shoot you to someone else. And I'm like, okay, no problem. And that's when I talked to Brian. So he sent me to Brian to talk. So the call went awesome. The call went awesome because then, you know, Brian told me like, yeah, they're hand grounds because they're not popular. It's okay. The best things aren't popular. Okay. It doesn't make sense to CNC grind them. So we're at the mercy of, you know, that cam grinder, that human, the day of the week, you know, how many cups of coffee have they had? I will tell you, like, I try not to take any phone calls or like do any, talk to any customers before I have my second cup of coffee. Otherwise, I'm a totally different person. So I relate to that cam grinder. That's a real person. I like the fact that my camshafts are ground by a real person. That makes them way more special to me. What do y'all think? Would y'all prefer CNC ground or human ground? And I'm saying that now, saying that these are really special, but also knowing that he's going to send me the CNC ground camshafts and I'm going to use those because that's cool. Well, I'm gonna measure them. I'm gonna measure them for y'all to see. Which I know, like, hurry up and actually get with the program, Faye. Okay, I am. Zeroed them out. So we're on our second. And let's see. What do y'all think number 2 is gonna be? These ones, I mean, they look. Okay, that's not what I was expecting at all. I'm sorry, you guys. Why is this so exciting? $2.99. $2.99. Is that what I got for real? All right, we got 299,000. So it's supposed to be 297. 297. All right, we have 299. So let me make sure that this is actually clean. We can get a human hair on there, and I'm a mess right now. So we can have a few human hairs on there, and I'd be none the wiser. Let me make sure we have no human hairs. $2.99. All right, so Toyota OEM gives us more lift than advertised, which, like I said earlier, is not a bad thing. Thanks for the questions, you guys. Phantom says he just rebuilt his motor, his BRZ. Oh my gosh, I'm not I'm not a boxer engine person. Actually, I've only rebuilt a couple, and they are weird. They're so weird, and they're getting even weirder. I just did like the technical training for the new 8.6. It's extremely strange. Let me think. You can't remove the pistons without separating the case. Am I remembering that right? I need to go back and redo the technical training, I think. And the connecting rods are one-time use. Isn't that crazy? I took the technical training like 6 months ago, people. So I'm a little rusty. I gotta go back and redo the technical training. It was so interesting though. All the modifications that or like all the differences that they did from the previous model to the current model 8.6 to make it like, I mean, really to improve it, also have sort of made it like less serviceable and maybe like a little bit more like cost prohibitive to like the regular Joe engine builder. Except let me tell you, I reuse my rods, and on 88 I'm gonna reuse my rods too. Like I have no billet fancy. I don't have any fancy connecting rods. I've reused all my factory ones, and we shall see. People say that it's like a weak point on the 7M, but I have yet to see this. And it's interesting because I've heard people say like over and over again that they're the weak point because of how long they are, which honestly does not make sense to me. But I don't know. I'm not a connecting rod designer, so I can't say for sure. Hello. Oh my God, Joseph. Well, thank you so much. Jeez. Wow. Oh my God, you guys are like extremely nice right now. I did not get on here I thank you so much for some Claritin. Yeah, seriously, I know I'm so stuffy right now. It's a little embarrassing. I almost didn't go live because I'm just like, I was so concerned. I'm like, I look like crap today. So I was a little hesitant, but I fixed my makeup and I'm ready to go. So thank you guys so much. Beer money. I will take it. In fact, I am out. I'm out. I really appreciate you guys so much. I enjoyed the unboxing. It was just this box. I don't know. CNC. Okay, CNC. I mean, yeah, like that's the thing is if I've got them, I'm gonna use them. But I'm probably gonna use the regular, or not the regular. I'm gonna use the other stage 2 camshafts probably for Project 88. Now, like the cool thing about those camshafts too is according to Brian Crowder, like according to the website, you don't have to use upgraded springs or retainers. I got them for this build just because I'm just like, well, while I'm there, I probably should. And I didn't have any choice because at that point, I'd caused some major damage to the factory camshafts, which is why I bought these for Project 88 because I didn't have a set of good GTE camshafts. So I mean, I may just, or I may go on the website and get the titanium keepers and springs. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't have to. Human has character. I know. That's what made it feel like so special to me after I found that out. It's like I wasn't even upset that they were different. And I honestly, like, I was never upset that they had variation. Because like I said, like logically I knew that the variation did not matter in what my engine saw. And just like Brian said, and just like Danny said, it's like I could dyno this engine and I will. Well, I'm at least gonna run it on the run stand. But we have a dyno back there in the back room that actually, crazy story. I think it's like an old Toyota dyno. I think. I've got to ask Danny now. Is Danny in the chats? He's in New York right now. They're going to a Broadway show, but the dyno in the back was used for testing purposes, and I think it was from originally from Southwest Research Institute, which is kind of cool. Because some of you know I used to work at Intertech, which like is their major competitor, doing engine testing, and we had like a bunch of dynos like that we were constantly running engines on. Not for like performance though. It was for measuring for like fuel economy stuff. We did a turbo oil coking test, like coolant differential, like all sorts of like fluid testing for like big dollar manufacturers, like big dollar oil companies. What else did I do? I also did fuel deposits. I did fuel testing for you know how you go to like a fuel station, like a Shell or Chevron, and it's like Chevron with Techron. It cleans your valves, and it shows you the before and the after pictures. Well, cool story. Those were our pictures. I mean, I was not the photographer. There was professional photographers that took photos of the valves. Imagine like your whole life, like going to photography school and like investing all this money in equipment and just like being like, ha, I've made it in life. I'm a paid photographer. And then like your job is literally taking pictures of valves. There was like this room that was like dedicated to taking pictures of engine parts at Intertech. There were several actually, and it was just like all white, and there was like this beautiful background and like all this perfect lighting and these professional photographers that was just like take pictures of like valves and pistons. Like it's like you made it, but did you? I don't know. I mean, I think it's cool, but you can only see so many valves with deposits until it's a little boring. It's a little boring. That's why I left the job. Not because I didn't like it. It was interesting, but it was really repetitive, and I got bored. I got a little bored with that. But oh yeah. So why was I talking about that? Oh, because of the dyno. So I do think that we might be able to get the dyno up and running in time to dyno this motor, and then yeah, like it really doesn't take that much to get the chems in and out. So I could do a before and like I could do like a side by side comparison if I felt like it. Maybe I will, but maybe I'll just want to put the engine in. I don't know. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Dookie Pants. Do you watch Invader Zim? I love Invader Zim. If that's the Dookie you're referring to, I'm all about it. Let's see. I guess if you're in control of the process, then it means it doesn't matter. It's the end result. Yeah, I mean, I guess the end result is the goal, right? I don't know. I kind of feel like the process is kind of the goal. That's gonna sound like so corny. Sorry, you guys. It's Friday, and I finished one of these, but I'm about to get another one because I can't talk that much without hydration. Am I? I'm feeling it, but I remember like when I'm not gonna get teary eyed here, okay? Because I'm tough. Not weak, I'm tough, okay, people. But I remember when I was first rebuilding this engine, and I had like this epiphany when I was talking to Danny about it, because I was just like enjoying the process so much. And it reminded me of the last time that I was building this engine, and it was I was trying to get ready for Supers in Vegas, 2015. So it's a long time I've been building this engine. And and I got it all done, and it never really ran right. And of course, you know the story if you watch the Super Saga series. I had a warped cylinder head, I had bad engine work done, and I never checked it because I trusted that professionals were going to do a good job. So I never checked it, and I kept on checking all the stuff that I did. But anyway, like I was in such a rush to get it done that I kind of forgot to stop and enjoy the process. And as I was going through and like redoing everything, like I was sort of like remembering my past self from 2015. And I found like little notes that I made to myself in the engine. I was looking back at old pictures, and it just like sort of transformed me back to that time. And it's like, it's not even that long ago. Like 2015 is not that long ago. But I was, I mean, shit, like I was a different person then. I had a different skill set then. I was working, I lived in a totally different place then, and my priorities were different then. And I don't know, like even the way that I saw the automotive industry was different then. I was working for someone else, which is great. I mean, it's still the best job I ever had. I mean, if I didn't need to leave Portland, I would still probably be working at Atomic Auto because I absolutely loved it. I loved that job. If you live in Portland and you have a Toyota, oh my God, please go to Atomic Auto and tell Travis I say hi. I loved that job, and all, all my coworkers were so cool and taught me so much, and it was the best. But yeah, it transported me back to that time, and I just feel so grateful now for the opportunity to just like be back building this thing. It's like I'm not. I mean, I'm like kind of in like a little bit of a rush because I'd like to drive to Supers in Vegas, but what's the worst that happens if I don't make it this year? I make it next year. I drive my Mark V with air conditioning and like, I mean, I love driving a manual transmission. Like I'm I've always driven manual transmission, but like sometimes it's nice just hit the cruise control and just like let the ZF8 speed just like and the oh, what's the adaptive cruise. Like I don't know, like just so nice. Just like listen to a podcast, like space out, like watch the scenery go by, and obviously pay attention to the road, but just like sort of let the car do the driving for me. It is such a great car to road trip in. So I mean, what's the worst? Like I'm not in any rush to get it done. And as y'all know from seeing from maybe hearing my story, if you followed my story at all, I do not have a degree in automotive. I did not make it through automotive technical school. I did take a couple classes, some things that I thought like I couldn't learn in the field. It's like I felt like I really was struggling to learn electrical, just like on the job. So I took a class in electrical, like basic electrical. We're talking like basic, like how to use a multimeter. Okay, people like super basic, like intro to electrical. Um, and then what else did I take? At Portland Community College, like nothing fancy. I took transmissions, derp. Because it's like how do you really learn transmissions if you don't work in a transmission shop? I felt like I had like a gap in like learning there, and I mean even still, I don't really do much with transmissions. I don't really take. I mean the most I've ever done with a transmission is rebuild my R154 for the Supra, and it was ugly. I'd broken some stuff. I lost first and second gear, and I had to drive back from like Canada to Portland with only third gear. But yeah, so I replaced a shift fork, and I replaced all of my synchros, and I replaced a gear. So, but that thing was in and out 3 times before I got it right. Like I'm not a good transmission person. And so like automatic transmissions, like what do? I flush the fluid. Cool. And like I've replaced some shift solenoids that have gone bad on some like third gen forerunners, but like it's like working at the dealership and even working at an independent shop, like you don't really like go through and like replace like individual components in a transmission. You normally remove it, send it off to a shop. I mean, even places that claim to be transmission rebuilders do that. Like you send it to a transmission shop, they're just R&Ring it and sending it off to somebody else. So I felt like I had to take a class on that. But like I do not profess to. I didn't even go to like T10 Toyota school. I am completely on the job learning thanks to the mentors that I've had. So like huge thanks to Danny. I've learned so much. And before him, like Travis at Atomic Auto, my boss, Sergio, who worked in the and Lloyd, who's a Toyota guy, at Atomic Auto, and then of course like my first ever boss, who wouldn't consider me like an employee, but I guess like I interned, Jesse from Banchworks, all taught me everything they knew, and it was all just from asking questions. It's like if I wasn't curious as to what the heck was going on with my camshaft, I wouldn't have ever thought to measure lift. I would have never learned how to use a cam doctor. So it's like, I don't know. It's an educational tool for me too. Like there are so many people that are great mechanics. There are so many people that are like okay mechanics, but call themselves mechanics, that like just get stuck in the rut of doing the same stuff every single day. And I found myself sort of doing that too. It's like, that's, like the stuff that I do on All Girls Garage is so cool. Like I modify a whole bunch of stuff. Like we do stuff that's interesting for TV, right? Makes sense. It's a TV show. Do stuff that's cool, so we want to watch it. But that's not my life. My life is boring stuff. Like I do maintenance. I do regularly scheduled maintenance. I change oil. I change transmission fluid. I replace drive belts. I replace air filters. Like, I mean, that could be my life, and it could be great. I'd be so satisfied. In fact, God, I'm ranting. That's fine. I'll eventually measure all of these. Okay, so I can move on now. We're 299,000. Um, in fact, actually, like sometimes it gets to be like a lot. You know, like I remember when I first went to try out for All Girls Garage, and I was like, this is gonna be awesome. And I never thought I was gonna make it. I just knew that I would hate myself if I didn't try. Never thought I would make it. Um, and there's, you know, I was one of four that tried out, and it's like if you look at the metrics, like, man, like just comparing myself from like an experience perspective, I was not in the field the longest out of the four. I think I had been in the field like the second longest. Still doesn't suck. But some of the other a couple of the other girls had skills I did not have. And if we were to like line us all up and just be like, you know, like, this is gonna sound so shitty, but like, let's be real. It's like TV stuff. Like, what do you gotta do to be a girl on TV? Like, you probably gotta be like, you know, tall, skinny, like somewhat attractive. Like, come on, people. So like, I mean, looking at the lineup, like, let me just say, I was far from number one, people. From a clearly objective standpoint. And I'm not stupid. Like, I know I'm not like, you know, terrible to look at, but like, compared to the caliber of women that were there, I'm like, there's no way I'm ever gonna make it. Like, and that's fine. And I was actually like okay with that, because I just wanted to sort of like, I just wanted to be able to, you know, write home about it and tell my mom, I tried. I gave it my all. I did my best, you know, and I did. I called her and I was like, Mom, I bombed it. And I think I've told the story before about the project that I had to do for my tryout, and how the engine was like carbon seized. I was supposed to be doing like, I mean, they didn't tell you what you're gonna do to try out. You just show up, and you do your best. And it was literally just stuff that was around in the shop. You're supposed to do a quick tryout. So like, well, what's your specialty? I'm like, well, my specialty is Toyotas. Like, well, we don't have any Toyotas here. I'm like, okay. Like, got anything else? I'm like, I like engines. It's like, oh, we've got this LS over here. Like, why don't you just like talk about, I don't know, like setting up timing. I was like, well, shit, I can do that. Now, granted, I've never worked on an LS engine. Like, that, you think that that's so common, right? They probably thought that they were like throwing me a bone by being like, hey, just do timing on this. And I'm like, right, cool. No, first of all, I had an aftermarket gear set, so it didn't have any timing marks on it. So like that threw me for a loop. So I'm just like, I have no idea how to set up this thing. First of all, like, there was that. Second of all, everything I work on has overhead cam. Like, and is mostly, you know, for a while, mostly belt driven. Now, of course, a lot of the modern Toyotas are chain driven. And of course, you know, I'm used to 22RE. But that was crazy. And then I tried to turn the thing over and it wouldn't turn over. Because there was like so much carbon buildup that it had like carbon knock. It was carbon seized, basically. So I'm trying to turn this thing over, and it's like, all right, you're up next. I'm like, this thing won't turn. So I had to quickly like rip the cylinder heads off of this thing, clean the carbon out of it. And meanwhile, I'm just like dealership technician brain. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know like how to put the head bolts in properly. Like I don't like, shit, I gotta bring this up on Identifix. And I'm just like trying to start like, what year is this engine? Like I have no idea. I couldn't tell you if this is like a 90s LS. I couldn't identify it, or if it's like a brand new LS. I mean, it clearly had at least 150,000 miles on it, so I'm guessing it was old, but I didn't know. And so I'm stressing out about like head bolt torque, and they're just like, oh, just throw this thing back together, like you gotta go, like we gotta film you. So I ended up calling my mom and like crying and being like, Mom, I bombed it. And she was like, I'm sure you did fine. But I called up my mom. I was like, Mom, I was a total failure, but that's okay, because I did my best. So then I made it. To my surprise, I was like, well, that is strange. I was not expecting that, but I'm glad that I did. And wow, why was I telling that story? Oh yeah, because I wasn't prepared. Like I wasn't prepared for like how it was gonna change my life. I'm like, well, I'm just doing the same thing that I already do, but for like slightly better money. Cool. Sorry, my allergies, people. But I remember like talking to Bogey on the phone and just like asking her questions about it, like before I accepted the job. Like I was reading over the contract and I was like, I don't know, like, do I really want this? And I don't know, like my mom was like really supportive of it. She was, I mean, she thought it was like the coolest thing, you know, because here I was, like the child that was destined to be a loser. Because I like, you know, I went to college and stuff, but like, you know, I was like the black sheep. I'm like the one that everyone was worried that I was gonna like fail and, you know, end up like selling drugs out of my mother's basement, which I did not, by the way. So, you know, it was cool to like be quote unquote like successful by some sort of like mainstream standards. But I wasn't ready for like how it was gonna like change my I don't know. I'm just a normal person, people. And it's been like really weird because the way that people react to you suddenly, just like because you're on TV, it's just like, ah. I'm not like suddenly like this goddess of mechanics. I'm still the same person with the same knowledge. And sometimes it'd be really nice to go to the grocery store like without makeup on. I remember like the day that I'm just like, holy crap, like I actually made it. I went to like 7-Eleven. I just like walked to 7-Eleven. It's like we got one close to the house. And in my pajamas with no makeup on, and I'm just like, all right, I just need coffee and I'm just too lazy to make it. So I'm gonna walk to 7-Eleven and get their Texas pecan coffee, which is fantastic, by the way, if you like 7-Eleven coffee. And there was somebody who recognized me in 7-Eleven and wanted a selfie. And I'm like, well, shoot, I've got to be selfie ready every time I leave the house now, because someone, you know, I didn't want to disappoint somebody. I want to make sure I took a selfie with them, but I was just like, wow. And I don't know, people treat me like I'm not normal anymore. It's very weird. It's very weird. So the long story of that is that sometimes I get a little bit overwhelmed with all the stuff that comes along with my job. So I have a dealership, a totally filled out application for my local Toyota dealership that I have like taped to my bathroom mirror. So I'm just like, if I ever like get too overwhelmed and just want to be like normal again, I was like, I mean, I'm never normal, I guess, but like if I want to be like live a normal life again, I was like, I have a safety, like there's my out. And then I have people from the dealership telling me that they wanted my life. And I'm just like, well, sometimes I kind of want your life. So I don't know, grass is always greener. Point being, this is a very freaking long story and I'm only on the third lobe here. But point being, because of the way that my life is like sort of changed, you know, I have this opportunity to continue my learning in a really beautiful way. It's like, I mean, yes, I do a whole lot of things that have time constraints. I still have customers that need their cars. I still struggle to put out a YouTube video every week. You know, I still travel around the country to do different things, automotive or not, for people. You know, there's still like a huge part of, I still have like deadlines and stuff, but you know, I'm not working flat rate in the same sense that I used to be. So like, there's really no rush for me to finish this thing. So I really want to take every single spare second that I have and learn every step of the process so I truly get an understanding of how this works. Like I feel like I've become such a better mechanic after learning engine building, like really truly learning engine building. It's one thing just like assemble stuff. I did a lot of assembling for a while and called myself an engine builder. It was not. I never blueprinted anything. I didn't really know what that meant, you know? So anyway, oh my God, someone bought me another coffee. Oh my gosh. One time these connecting rods. Yeah, that's on the new 8.6. And I can't remember why, but I'll get back to you on that. Oh, Mr. Smith, the amount of lift your channel gives. Thank you. I like that analogy. We got lift. I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Juan, get a refill on your Juan, I will absolutely get a refill on my beverage. Hold on, the fridge is right back here. So bear with me, people. This is real time. There's waters in there, which I probably should be drinking waters instead, but I'm only on lobe 3. So we got more to go. We got more to go, people. This is gonna be a long stream. You and your hubs get some brews. Yeah, he's at the house. I think he's working on his Tacoma right now. So I don't know what he's doing actually. I haven't seen him in the chats yet. Okay, so Harold says, I thought the 7M weak point was the initial wrong torque specs for the head. That is one of many supposed weak points for the 7M, my friend. Yeah, but I am saying that is probably the thing that most people notice first, right? And it's crazy too, because it's like you don't really even notice until like the thing has 200,000 miles on it, and then you buy it as some like tuner kid that just is gonna throw a massive turbo on it, and you know, no supporting mods. And then yeah, next thing you notice, your coolant level's low and you're overheating a little bit, and you're like, why? Like imagine how good they do for like the first. Yeah, when I got mine, okay, so I'm that tuner kid. When I first bought mine in 2012 or 13, it had 202,000 miles on it, I think. And I bought it for $2,222.22. Anyway, and the first thing I did was like turn up the boost, and suddenly my coolant started disappearing. I'm like, huh! So yeah, I mean, that's a common thing. If you catch it early enough, you can just retorque the head bolts and then you're fine. And there's nothing wrong with the factory head bolts, and there's nothing wrong with the factory head gasket, unless you're going to be heavily modifying it. But then any engine would want supporting mods, right? So yeah, I think you're right. I think that would be probably its most well known weak point. Does anyone else disagree? Thank you for that point. Fungal Spore, thank you! $3. Oh my god, why is everyone thank you, my god, Jeff. Will you polish the lobes? On this one, or did you mean on the BC? So I asked Danny, actually. That's a really good question, because I had asked Danny. I was like, well, so could I micro polish the BC camshafts and get them into specification by micro polishing? And he said, in theory, yes. One could do such things. In practice, though, me doing it, I've never like polished anything before. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I really don't think I've polished anything before. Oh, that's a lie. I've polished one thing. I polished a fitting that I made for my oil return that no one is ever going to see. My oil cooler return line is polished. That is the first thing I've polished, and that might be the last thing I polish. I don't know. I'm not like a looks person, you know? And I realized, like, after spending the amount of time polishing it that I did to get it that, like, to look that nice, and Danny goes, all right, well, it'll be tarnished in 6 months. And I'm like, whoa, it gave like a way new perspective to, you know, when you go to a car show and you see these engines that are perfectly polished and you're just like, oh, that's impressive. Well, no, they have to polish those over and over and over. Like they are constantly polishing. I can't handle high maintenance. So I'm not going to polish probably anything else. So I'm not going to polish the camshaft. I'm going to wait for the CNC ground ones. Then I'm going to put them on the Cam Doctor and see the difference between human and CNC, and then I'll install those, and I'll probably call it a day with that. I mean, but give me a reason. Oh my God, Jeff, a beer for the chickens! Thank you so much. Y'all people are awesome. I don't know how I'm going to put chickens at the end of this video, by the way. So I'm really sorry. There's going to be people I'm going to disappoint, and there's nothing I can do about it. There are no chickens here. Still messing with the cam, says Jeep Guy. Sheesh. Jeep Guy, your Jeep running? Shut it. Danny says the stuff that you do on All Girls Garage is not boring. Well, thank you. Yeah, no, that's the point. Is we try to do things that are interesting for people to watch. So we do some maintenance stuff, obviously, because we want to be able to relate to everybody. We want to make sure that we're always doing different stuff. But yeah, I think like everything that I do in my daily life is a little mundane, but I don't know. I still like it, you know. So thanks for oh my God. So what am I drinking? This this is a super frilly drink. This is Unity Vibration. Feeling the love, people. It's I'm fooling myself into thinking that it's healthy because it says that it contains natural probiotics. It's healthy, people. It is not. Aged on oak. And it is lightly hopped kombucha with fresh whole raspberries, handmade and vibrationally infused. So, vibrationally infused. Give me a break. This is some hippie shit. It's probably made in California. Okay. Nope. It is made in Michigan. All right. Well, I got some hippie vibrationally infused stuff from Michigan. Any other questions? Oh my gosh, so many questions. What's the project with me and Bogey? So Atomic Force Gaming says kombucha. Yes, it is a girly drink. Let me tell you. I wish I could just drink beer, but you know I'm allergic to wheat. That sucks. It sucks. I'm allergic to wheat and dairy, and a whole bunch of other things too. Like the list is so long, I would bore you, and then all 160. Oh my god. Not intimidated. Not intimidated at all that 162 people are watching this right now. That is, yes, yep, celiac and Hashimoto thyroid and like, I like my health issues are like the longest list. So yeah, like sometimes people, I wake up and I don't even know how I'm gonna function. I feel so crappy, but I do my best. I do my best. But yeah, I can't drink normal stuff. All right, so we're on the 3rd. And what are we at? 299. 299,000. Oh, I forgot to write it down. Okay, so far, what are we at? The exhaust. So we have 298,000, 299,000, and 299,000. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to show Danny. This is going to be exciting. So what do you guys think? What do you think is the maximum variation that I'm going to see across this factory OEM, very used camshaft? Like, I'm actually really glad that, I mean, and nothing against the seller. Like the seller was very upfront. He, God, my allergies. The seller was really upfront and sent me a ton of pictures. I asked a bunch of questions. Like every time I asked him for more pictures, he sent me more. So I'm not at all bashing the seller. In fact, the seller was wonderful. Oh, that's who wanted that thing. I posted on my Instagram. I found a Supra part that the seller of these camshafts wanted, and I forgot who wanted them. Yeah, I totally forgot who wanted them. But now that I'm saying it, now that I'm talking about him, that guy. Oh, I hope I saved his address. Well, somewhere on that box. So where are we at again? Okay, zeroed out on the base circle. And I like going backwards. 299. Oh my god. 299. This is crazy. I mean, I guess the factory ones must be. Jeep guy, you're going to run factory cams? Ew. And what? First of all, what's wrong with factory cams? Ahem. Jeep guy. But second of all, you can't just like come into my stream like halfway through and then like start making these wild accusations. Because I'm not. I'm running the Brian Crower Stage 2 custom CNC ground for my build camshafts. I wasn't going to pull that one out and like start bragging about it, but if you're going to throw shade, I'm throwing it back, Jeep guy. Just giving you a hard time, dude. Atomic Force says they were designed for the engine. Yes. All right, so we got some people guessing. Okay, so let's see. I thought Drew Carey was running The Price is Right. I don't understand that at all. I'm so sorry. You'll have to explain that one to me. Dead nuts, says Dookie Pants. 2000. Yeah, okay, that's that. We'll see. We'll see. So far, there's definitely a chance that we could be out only, yeah, a couple 100,000ths of an inch. That'd be insanity. So I can't believe that there are so many of you that just want to watch me do this on a Friday night, on Good Friday. Um, does anyone have any Good Friday or like Easter plans at all, by the way? I'm really far away from all of my family, so I don't really do like really Easter dinner at all, but I used to when I was a kid. We would all drive to my maternal grandmother's house. Um, and she never liked cooking. She always like hated cooking. So I don't know why she was just like always the hostess. Um, but we actually didn't, we would drive to her house and I think it was like, there was a massive buffet that was at an airport, I think. It sounds kind of dumb now that I'm saying it, but yeah, we went to like this massive buffet. And my favorite part of doing that when I was a kid was there was like a DIY like ice cream machine. And I couldn't really eat ice cream. It made me feel sick, but I would love to just like make a whole bunch of custom ice creams for everybody and add all the sprinkles and stuff. And of course, it was a massive waste because no one actually ate all the ice cream that I made for them with the soft serve machine. I just wanted to make it and pretend that I was, an ice cream server. Okay, so this one, I'm just like I'm checking to see if I have anything on this one because this one's actually measuring. What do we have? 299. It's supposed to be 298. I'm measuring 300. Okay, it's 300. These are extremely close though. It's crazy. So yeah, so this year I'm not really doing anything for like the Easter holiday at all, but tomorrow I'm gonna be doing some canning. If anyone watches my friend Brittany's channel, Fast Cars and Slow Cooking, I have a friend who's like this amazing like frontiers woman, like really legit does it all. Like people ask me all the time, it's like, what do you do bad? I'm like, a lot. But I'd say like my biggest downfall is that I'm a pretty crappy cook. Like especially because like most things I can't eat, so I don't have like a lot of cooking skills for like actual like real food. Like when I met Brandon, I told him that I was like my Native American name would be she who cooks two meals, and it's eggs with vegetables and rice with vegetables. So, and I was raised by like a single father for like my most formidable years. So like from I think age like 10 to 17. I was raised by my single father, who was really freaking weird, by the way. Really, really weird. And he didn't cook except he had a barbecue grill. So I can barbecue. That's it, not smoke. So I'm not making brisket, y'all. But like I've no kitchen skills. Brittany can do it all. She's an incredible cook, and mechanic. And I'm like, ugh, goals. So she's teaching me how to can. So tomorrow I'm canning. Like little like prepper stuff. Not like weird prepper stuff, like normal prepper stuff. Okay, people? All right. State Parks is on the air tomorrow. It's a radio thing. Oh, I've never heard of it. Cheers from Alberta, Canada. Oh, that's awesome. It is Good Friday. I know. I would trust you with my engine, but not my ice cream. No, you would get a bunch of weird shit on top of it if you trust me with your ice cream. I love this. Oh, I love this too. You guys, I had been meaning to go live since like 3 p.m. And I delayed for like 2 hours because I was so nervous about it. So I was really nervous about it. I don't have Danny here. I don't have Elaine to make sure that no one's being like weird in the comments. Some of y'all get weird in the comments. You know who you are. You get weird. Texas. Who's a weird prepper? I don't know. There's some, right? I mean, I'm trying. I don't know. That was me. That was me giving a disclaimer, okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with prepping. I think in fact we all should prep. We all should definitely prep all the time. So yeah, especially me because I'm allergic to everything. I can't even buy like normal storable food. It's like I need the gluten-free option, please. It's like, who makes gluten-free storable food? I'm not sure if anyone does. So I need to supplement my my food stores. But we've like living in like rural Texas, I'm like, I've got some of the prepping under control because we've got like deer in the backyard and stuff. So we've got the meat covered. I'm just like my vegetables. So I'm gonna try to make some weird pickled stuff. We'll see. And I really want to be able to make sauerkraut. Because I like sauerkraut. Does anyone else like sauerkraut? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Sauerkraut and kimchi. I want to be able to make it. I don't know how. Yep. Just verifying. We got We got 300. Well, if there's any other weird preppers in the room, just let me know. I want to know. The Netherlands? Oh my gosh. Wow. Shopcat Industries says sauerkraut is great. It really is great. And there's so we have a local farmers market that I love going to, actually with my friend Brittany. Fast cars and slow cooking on here. Is Brittany in the chats? I'm surprised if she's not. Where is she? I can eat a whole jar of sauerkraut in one sitting. You're crazy. So also like where I live, there's like a really, oh my God, there's 222 thumbs ups. Yes, my lucky number is thumbs ups. I will take it. That's amazing. But my friend Brittany, with her channel, she does she got this book, it's called Manifold Destiny, where she like cooks on her engine. So she's making videos about that. So we go to the farmers market, and there's like a lot of like German influence around here, this part of Texas, and so whenever we go to the farmers markets and get like fresh vegetables and stuff, there's a couple different people that make like fresh sauerkraut. It is so good. It is so good. So I want to be able to make it and can it and like, save it for, when the world ends. You won't fix your gut stomach with those hippie shenanigans. Oh my God, no, for sure. Like, I mean, I'm not stupid. I know that these natural probiotics are like, absolutely not. This is not good. This is raising or lowering my pH, my gut pH. It's acidic, right? And I want to be alkaline. Oh God, no, I totally know. I'm not fooling myself. I know that is very unhealthy. But you know what? I do a lot of healthy stuff. So like, it's just I'm a Libra, so balance. All right. So here we are. How far have I even gotten? I'm on the 6th lobe. I'm halfway through. Once begun, you're halfway done. I'm almost halfway done currently. So I've got 0 on my base circle. Once again, moving backwards and forwards and measuring my lift. This is just $2.99. This is just for an experiment. I was just curious how these would do compared to the aftermarket ones that I bought. $2.99. All right, on the nose. And these are within 2,000. So my first one was at 298,000, and the most recent one that I just did was 299, and the one before that was 300. So I'm extremely close. So does anyone have any questions about any of this, by the way? I feel like there's so many questions I need to. The lower the number, the more the acidity. Yeah. Alcohol is a natural disinfectant. Yes, and it's a natural solvent. So so that's interesting. Actually, there is a study done. A lot of you know that I started my my education in I was going for pre-med. And oh, Dookie Pants! Thank you so much. Wait, what are you guys doing? What happened to my super chats? Holy, what is happening? What are you guys doing in my super chats? Thank you. Oh my God. I was not expecting that. I'm so grateful. Oh my gosh. Funny story. I had one of my YouTube shorts go viral, which, I mean, viral for me. It has like 2 million views or something like that, which is amazing. Like, I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that my video got watched over 2 million times. And I had a bunch of my friends reach out and be like, all right, Faye, you got that YouTube money. I'm like, yeah, like, cool. And I looked up online. I'm just like, all right, how much do you get for 1 million views? It's like, YouTube pays $1,000 for 1 million views. I'm just like, oh, that's amazing. $1,000. I'm gonna buy like this stuff for my 7M. No. No, YouTube paid me a bonus of like $38 and 20 something cents. I have to I screenshotted it and I almost posted it, but I was like, I don't know, it's a little passive aggressive. I don't want to hate on YouTube at all for what they've done for me. But for those people that actually like do YouTube professionally, I think like that do it like as a career, I think they make most of their living, because it's a full-time job. I think they make most of their living with like sponsors rather than actually getting paid. So someone's asking about Jeff, 3rd gen 4Runner steering rack rebuild. Yes, I really Megan did my 5K service yesterday. and she was making notes of all the things wrong with my truck. And one of the things she noticed was that my steering rack was still leaking. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll address that at some point. So I found, because I don't want to like take the steering rack out and then rebuild it and like have it down. Because as you know, it's like if I rebuild it and I just rebuild it on my own and I don't try to make a video out of it, it would take maybe half a day. You know, if I'm just like enjoying myself and doing it on a Saturday, you know, maybe like 4 hours maximum if I'm just chilling. I don't know, maybe more if I run into problems. However, if I film it, then setting up all the cameras and getting the lighting and like make sure that I, you know, wearing clean clothes and, you know, put makeup on and like do all that stuff. It's like suddenly it becomes like a 2-day thing. So I don't want to have my truck down. So what I want to do is I want to find a used rack on like eBay or something, maybe get like eBay Motors to sponsor it. I'll have to like reach out and be like, hey, would you like buy me the steering rack or something? I don't know. And then rebuild it. Cause I do enjoy doing steering rack rebuilds. I think it's something that a lot of people are intimidated by. And the first time that I did one, I was like, oh, like really, really nervous and really scared about it. And then it's just like anything. It's like once you like just like this, it's like once you realize how simple it is, it's like, whoa. I was like so intimidated by that job, and it was like not a big deal. Yes, and that's the other option too. Oh, you're so smart. Who are you? Louis. I can't read. Is it Louis? Oh, it just, shoot. My screen just went dark. Louis says, pick and pull rack rebuild. You're so right. Why don't I just go to Pull Apart and grab one? I'm all about that. That's exactly what I should do. Duh. Pull Apart. Pull Apart is actually awesome. They are a sponsor of mine. And they do pay me for content. So I will have to. But I haven't had any good ideas in a while because I've just been so busy. So I haven't really reached out to them. But I need to. I need to reach out to them and be like, hey, let me do some social media marketing for you or something. I could probably get a steering rack out of it. And then also it's just like it's nice to be able to have funding for the time to do stuff. You know, because like a typical day of working in the shop, or like a typical day of anything. Like I remember when I started my business, and I just calculated all my expenses and how much money I have to make in a day to survive. And so if I can take like 2 days and have someone like, you know, sponsor that like 2 days to do a really good video, then it's a wash. Then I don't have to be fixing someone's car to make my day worth it. You know, like, or because otherwise if I can't support myself on that day, I've got to make up for it another day. You know? It's like, and that was including, I remember like calculating like a 7-day work week too. It's like, wait a second. I thought God said Sunday was off. Well, that's fine. I need to recalculate for Sundays off eventually. But yes, like having sponsors is like such a huge deal. Like I'm so grateful for the ones that I have that support me and feel comfortable like putting their brand behind everything that I do and say. So like pull parts haven't been the same since Cash for Clunkers. I really? I am totally completely against, like viscerally against the Cash for Clunkers program. I remember speaking out about it back in the day, and it was like sort of a controversial issue. So I don't know if I want to be controversial right now, but it was terrible. Sorry, people, my allergies. Why don't you have a Patreon page? Jeff, I did actually, because I have so much content that I was going to be, that I used to put out, but then it felt like wrong. I don't know, like, and it was where I would, because I don't do DMs on Instagram. I don't give out my email address just because like I can't keep up, and I don't want anyone to like think that I'm like ignoring them, or so I'm just like, I can either do all or nothing. So I do nothing in terms of like communicating. But what I do actually is like I have my mailing address public. So if people really, really want to reach me, and they do their research, they will find my mailing address and they will write me a letter. And you know what? Like when people take the time to write me a letter, I will sit down and I will read it. And a lot of times I write back. Not always, because sometimes people, you know, don't ask a question. They're just like recently I had someone just like send me a tool. And I'm like, that is so cool. So I just took a picture of it and I posted it and I was like, thank you, this person, so that they knew that I got it. But sometimes people write me like long letters about like their whole life story. And it'll take me a while to read the letter. It'll take me a while to respond to the letter. But if someone makes the effort to write to me, then I'm just like, I can take time out of my day and write back to them. Like, that is like very cool. But for Patreon, I was using that as a space to communicate with people. So if anyone messaged me, I'd message them back. But I don't know. I didn't. I just didn't feel right like charging. It was just weird. I don't know. It's hard. It didn't feel right at the end of the day. Even though I know people enjoyed it, it just didn't feel right. So I do not have a Patreon. I just make content. So yeah, so people with Cash for Clunkers. So the thing about Cash for Clunkers, first of all, is that a lot of those cars I would not classify as clunkers. Just because a car doesn't get like amazing fuel economy compared to a newer car, I don't think makes it not worthy of being on the road. I think the best thing that you can do for the environment is keep an old car running. You've already put the resources into that car. The mining for those metals has already been done. The engineering process, those salaries have already been paid. The resources have already been used to create all of those products that go into that car. I think the greenest thing that can be done is keep it running for as long as possible. And granted, there are some like true clunkers that are just like, burning so much oil and just smoking and are terrible. And it's like, yeah, you can look at that and be like, all right, well, that car's not great for the environment. But I saw so many cars get scooped up in the Cash for Clunkers thing and taken off the road. And it's like, for what? So someone could have some sort of money to go towards like a brand new car that they wouldn't have otherwise bought. Well, isn't that putting like a bigger strain on the environment, more demand for more products from like a totally just like straight up like one for one perspective? But then also the thing that I thought was really awful about that program was that none of those parts were able to be recycled. So you normally when a car ends its life cycle, it ends up in a junkyard, and then all of those parts, just like this part that came out of a car that was scrapped, it's like then all those parts can be used. But part of that program was to make sure that none of those parts could be used at all to keep any other cars running. And I think that was the worst part about that program. Like those engine blocks. I think there was something about like, didn't they film with concrete? It was something crazy where, I mean, maybe that was just like, maybe that was, that's, I don't know. That was many years ago, and I can't really quite remember. But there's something about what they did to those, where they were not allowed to be recycled. And I'm like, that's the opposite. And I feel the same way about electric cars. And I think Toyota has done a lot of it right. Toyota's been on the cutting edge for a lot of alternative fuel vehicles. Hey, I did some cutting edge stuff with alternative fuel vehicles. I ran my Volkswagen Rabbit diesel off of vegetable oil, and I made my own biodiesel. It was fun. It was awesome until it became too popular, and then people started charging for their vegetable oil, and I'm like, well, this is counterintuitive to the point. It's like, at that point, I wasn't just doing it to be like green. I was doing it because I was broke and gas was $6 a gallon. And I'm like, I need to drive for free right now. I'm trying to drive around the country and go on this epic road trip, and I am broke. So that was the reason why I did that, not because I was trying to be like green about it, but I think Toyota's done it right. Toyota's done it right from the get-go in terms of offering, of course, coming out with the Prius and offering hybrids to people. I think that they really nailed it with the Mirai. Doing a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, I think, is awesome. I don't know why people aren't jumping on that more. I think I know why, but I don't really want to talk about it here. But I don't know, and I'm wondering like why too. There's no diesel hybrids that are really like in production that are really popular. I think I know why too, but what do I know? I think didn't Volkswagen almost go under for that situation where they I don't know, lied about the fuel economy of the diesel. Is it a good drink? Okay, I like it, but I don't know. I have like a weird taste. I don't like anything like super sweet. This is probably the sweetest thing that I drink, and it's tart raspberry. It's like super dry, and I don't know. It's good for me because it doesn't make me feel sick after I drink it. And there's very few things that I can put in my body that do not make me feel sick after ingesting them. Most things, most things make me feel really sick. So, um, let's see. Uh, you know why, huh? No, I don't know why. I think the more that Jeep guy, I think the more that I learn, the more I realize I don't know anything. Uh, to be totally fair and honest, but I also think that it, I also don't necessarily think that the right things are being done for the reasons that they're telling us. I mean, if they really wanted like a clean burning, like a super clean car, um, I mean, I think we have a lot of that already. I think that the cars are getting so advanced now. It's like it's just because cars are getting so much more complicated. There's more things that have to be built. There are more strains on the environment. There's more mining for a very Scott Adams thing to say. I have no idea who that is. Sorry, I'm really out of touch with. I don't have a television. I've actually never had a television. I don't watch TV at all. I don't watch YouTube. I make YouTube videos. I don't watch it. I don't. Yeah, it's all about money. It's that really is what I think. But I really do think that Toyota's done it right. Like Toyota's done it right. They've offered what people want. You know, I mean, what do people want right now? They don't want electric cars. I mean, some people do, and all the power to them. Like, buy it, have fun with it. But what do most people want? They want a small SUV. That's what's selling the most right now. And the chip shortage, I have no control over that. Favorite Texas governor. I guarantee you I'd do a better job than Abbott, but that's fine. But at the same time, Toyota is also saying like, what's the current name of what's the current president of Toyota? It's Akio Toyoda, I think, with the D, Toyoda. Is a total badass. And I think he's like the only representative of a major automotive manufacturer that's come out and said, there's no way that we can all go EV. That is completely impractical. You know, you have all these cars that are saying that they're going to go, all these manufacturers saying that they're going to go fully EV by 2030. We do not have the infrastructure for that. And we all know it. Like, why is he the only one like bold enough to say that? And that's not to say that they're not doing a killer job making alternative fuel vehicles, making hybrids, making all electric cars that people want. Yeah, hot vapor. Yeah. Am I not a fan of compact SUVs? I actually love compact SUVs. I'm a huge fan of them. I mean, I don't personally own one. I have a big SUV. I have a 4Runner. So, let's see. I think the combustion engine will end up being, for those of us that are hardcore enthusiasts, we're a dying breed. Yeah, can't do a stick shift manual on electric. They're trying really hard to make a manual transmission vehicle like simulator for electric cars. Just to give people the idea that they're still shifting, which I think is crazy. I don't want to feel like I'm doing something. I want to do it. I don't want to simulate it. I'm not into this like crazy, I don't know, like alternative reality world. I think that's crazy. Stanley Meyer, who's that? Small block V8. I'm not familiar with that person. I'm sorry if you guys are talking about like people that are like famous. I'm really out of touch. So, oh, Dark Blaze, thank you. Not even nuclear power plants can keep up with the demand that all EV systems would require. Yeah, I strongly agree. And a lot of people forget too. It's like when you're plugging in your EV, like where are you getting that power from? is it truly better? Actually, I'm really proud of my I was gonna call her my intern, but she's not my intern anymore. My employee Megan was telling me that she's writing a paper for a class. She actually is in automotive tech school, so unlike me, she's going to automotive tech school, and she's gonna get her full degree. So as part of it, she's got to do other parts of the program. So she's also doing like a full course load of like normal college classes, and she's in an English class and she's writing a paper, and the paper has to be like an argumentative research paper, I think is how she described it. And I'm so freaking proud of her because she chose to write a paper on how electric vehicles are not green. And I'm like, wow, that's not going to be a popular one, Megan, but she's writing it, and she was actually educating me from her research on how the mining for the metals that are used for the batteries in electric vehicles is of course like terrible for the land in these third world countries. A lot of like South America and South African countries is where this is happening. But not only that, but it takes a lot of water to do that, and so they're taking the water from the people, and these big corporations, these big metal mining corporations are using the water for their mining processes rather than like allowing them to be for the people. So there's like water shortages for the people. Now it's interesting. So it's just interesting. I don't think that's good for the environment. I think it's a lot of greenwashing, but I don't know. Stanley Meyer is a guy that electrolysis water electrolysis did you mean to write that? Stanley Meyer is a guy that electrolysis water using resonance so he could come up with free energy. Oh, so you're saying he's dead? Sorry, that was rude. I've got beverages, so I'll look him up. I'll totally look him up. But yeah, so I don't know. Like, I'm not against electric vehicles. I think that there's a place for them, and I think that they're really fun. Like we had a Tesla on All Girls Garage that that our friend Jamie owns, and I mean it was fast. Like you hit the gas, you hit the accelerator pedal, and then like it threw you back in your seat. Like it was really torquey. It was really fun to drive. So, oh no way, you're messing with me. He disappeared. All right, well, who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to hear about it. I mean, I do, but wow, you guys are really interesting. Look up Tom Ogle, Genius Guy making 200 miles per gallon on gas fumes. Dude, no, Antonio, that's Smoky Eunuch. That's Smoky Eunuch. That's the thing that's so cool about the Smoky Eunuch hot vapor engine. So this is what Stanley Meyer's claim about perpetual motion machines. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with it. I gotta look into it. Perpetual motion machines. Man, I wish that was like a thing. I mean, I don't know. There's gotta be something like close to that. But you got to think that whatever machine you're building, there's going to be some resistance. There's going to be some friction. You're going to have some loss in heat, which is what's so cool about what Smoky Eunuch was doing with the hot vapor engine. I mean, he was literally like, I mean, and this is something that Dating needs to talk about more, and we need to do a live stream about it, I think. But the engine that he brought to the eBay show with Smoky Eunuch's actual car, the hot vapor engine, that car was making like crazy fuel economy by using all of the energy that it had available to it, with like basically like a turbocharger system that wasn't, it's not a turbocharger, but it looks like one. But the way that the fuel vapors were separated in this little chamber, and basically burning every single molecule and also harnessing all of the heat energy, it passed full emissions with no catalytic converters, and it got like 45 miles per gallon. And I think it was a 3-cylinder. He has a bunch. He made a bunch of hot vapor engines, I think, for every single manufacturer. Oh wait, what just happened? What just happened? Dark Blaze, thank you. In the mid 80s, CRX has got almost 60 miles per gallon. No, yes, lean, yes. It's what contributed to the high NOx in the air. Oh, interesting. That is very interesting. I don't know. I have no idea about the high NOx, but I had a '89 CRX, and there was there was a rally that went around the country, and now I'm forgetting what it was, but it was like a fuel economy rally. Like there's one lap of America where like you drive around like different racetracks and like you do the, you drive the racetracks, and it's like this whole tour of all of them. There was one for fuel economy, and I'm forgetting it right now, but it's like some sort of crazy like hyper mileage rally. Gosh, can't remember what it is now. And I think it was like a CRX or a Honda Civic that won it when I was paying attention to it back in like the early 2000s, maybe mid 2000s. And yeah, they were running like 100 psi of like air pressure in their tires, like all the crazy stuff, made all these crazy wings for it, like in order to get really great fuel economy. But yeah, it dominated. So yeah, hypermiling. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think it had a manual transmission, but it's been a while since I looked into that, so I'm not really quite sure. But at the end of the day, efficient energy is going to be free and no one can profit. Antonio, that's a really good point. I think that a lot of times you have to look at like where, like what the intention is behind the stuff. And I think that there's a lot of people that have a lot of really good intentions behind their automotive purchases, when they do buy hybrids or electric cars. Like I my dad has a hybrid Camry. Um, is it a Camry? Yeah. And his reason for buying it was because he really enjoyed getting 45 miles to the gallon. He was like, I just, he doesn't like flying either, so he likes driving everywhere. And he was just like, that's the reason. It's because I don't want to spend more money at the fuel pump. I was like, ah, well, you bought a really expensive car to do that with, So it's like, where are you gonna put your money? You're gonna buy like a cheap car that does okay, or buy an expensive car, it's a nice Camry that gets 45 miles a gallon, assuming he's gonna keep it for 200,000 miles. But yeah, it's like, you know, there are people who want that for a whole bunch of different reasons. So I think that hybrids are great. I think that electric vehicles are great. I just don't want them mandated to me. I don't want someone to tell me that I have to drive one, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I've heard so many people that are just like old school hot rodders that love their cars and are just like, they're going to pry my, you know, V8 out of my cold dead hands. I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to say you can't drive these things anymore. Like looking at just what's happened in the past, if I was to like try to be logical about it, which I'm not a logical person at all, but like if I was to be logical about it, I mean, I would say that what they, whoever they are going to do, is similar to what's happening right now. I mean, I think that they'll just make vehicles so expensive to own and so expensive to buy fuel that that they're just gonna price out the average person out of even driving their car. So, I mean, that's what I think would happen. It's like there's other countries that are doing that right now, where like if you drive in the city, there's like an extra tax for driving during like certain times of the day. There's an extra tax for having like a diesel, because like they're extra polluting. So they say. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not a scientist, you guys, so I have no idea. What? Oh, Dookie is out. You did okay. Wait a second. Hold on. Dookie is out. You did an awesome job solo. Keep it up and have a great Easter. Thank you so much, Dookie. Wow. I can't believe I've been live streaming for almost 2 hours. And I'm just like, I'm going to be doing this for 20 minutes because I'm intimidated by this, and it's fine. Faye, if you had a pronoun, what would it be? My pronoun? My pronoun? What? Faye Hadley, a girl, she. Waiting for the hydrogen car. Yes! I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, Toyota makes it. Why isn't it popular? Why don't people like it? I don't know. It's a question I'd love to have an answer to. But yeah, I mean, I think that also like the automotive industry, with like not the automotive industry itself, but I think that the way that they're focusing on pollutants is not right. Like I think that we're misconstruing like tailpipe emissions, and we're focusing on like we're hyper focusing on one thing, you know, like carbon. So how much carbon are we out producing? And I don't I don't know if that's an actual like good measurement of how bad these vehicles we drive around are affecting the environment. I think the world is so big, and I think that we all just hear a bunch of numbers and then we try to make sense of them in our heads, and we all have like this guilt complex about, how bad we all are for the environment when we're really not that. I don't think it's that bad. I don't know. Anyway, oh, Dark Places. I went to a super meet last Saturday here in Phoenix and got to see around 20, 700, 1,000, 1,200 horsepower Mark 5s. Do you plan to build yours? Wow. Okay. I mean, I would love to. So mine is just a lease. So I would like to buy it at the end of my lease, but right now I have to keep it stock. And that's what I can afford. So I would love to own it. I've thought about I'd love to own it and build it. But honestly, like it is so badass how it is. Like it really is. There's really not much about it that I'm like, oh, I wish it was better in this way. Like it's so perfect, I think. I mean, I thought for a second that when I first got it, I'm just like, man, I wish it came in manual. Like I really wish I could have like a 6-speed. But then like I've been doing so much driving and like long road trips that I love that. Oh my God, like what is up with you people? Oh my God, thank you. The Furious Garage. Oh my God, thank you so much. Gee, you guys are like, whew. I mean, I was gonna say stop it. Don't stop it, but like but thank you. Like you're really making me feel awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. I don't know. So like a lot of people are also asking me like my 7M and how much I'm building it for, and like what's your horsepower goals? And it's like, I'm so sorry to disappoint everybody. I'm like, I know a couple people with over 1,000 horsepower 7Ms, and I think that is so cool. I think it's so cool because it's unique and different, and especially being a motor that not a lot of people like, for a whole bunch of reasons. I know it's never gonna be as good as the 2J. How many times have I heard that? Why are you wasting your time, Faye? Because like you could spend less time and less money and just drop a 2J. And I know people. I could just 2J swap it like everyone else. So that's not what I'm doing, okay? Clearly it's not what I'm doing. And it's not what I'm gonna do. So that's not in the cards. But in terms of the Mark V, I thought I would want it in manual because I love driving manual. I've always had a manual transmission car, and I do. I have 3 right now. None of them run. One of them runs. Still. But after taking all the long road trips, I love the automatic transmission. I love the ZF 8-speed. I think that it lacks nothing. I feel like it drives better than I do. It downshifts before I even think about it. Like it's so intuitive. The transmission mapping is great on it, and also I love the adaptive cruise control. I love just like being able to just zone out and just drive the thing. If I had one complaint, I wish it was louder. So I'd put an exhaust on it so I could hear it, because I think it sounds great. I love driving it in sport mode just so I can have the exhaust baffle open and hear what it's capable of, because it sounds lovely. I just adore the car. So I do hope to buy it. We'll see what happens at the end of my lease period, and then maybe I will. Maybe I'll trade it in for a 6-speed. I don't. But I didn't really talk about this, but I suppose I should, since the time is now. But I had that car for 6 months before I was hit by a drunk driver, and the car saved my life. I think, like for sure. Like I was pretty badly hurt for a while. Um, like it definitely gave me some major whiplash and just like totally like messed up like my ability to turn my neck. Like I was hurting for a long time after that. But I was not expecting to be hit at all. Like it was crazy. Like I was coming home, I drove up to Austin to go roller skating with my friend Kelsey. And so we were working out, then we went in the pool afterwards, and like I mean, I was driving down 35, cruise control on in the middle lane, like not really paying attention to what's behind me. Why would I? I'm just looking forward. And someone in a work truck, like on the job, like a construction truck, was in the fast lane and was like passing me, but like messed up somehow and sideswiped. Actually, drove like if you were to see pictures, like drove over the back of my car basically. It caught me totally off guard. It was pretty late at night. It was like maybe midnight, I think. By the time I was driving home down 35, and I panicked. Like I just froze. I was not ready for it at all, and I had like no um because I wasn't anticipating it. Like I just froze, and the car took over, and I'm just I think it drove for me. It's like you hear the I like the saying, like, you know, Jesus take the wheel. It's like I felt like, you know, like Jesus took the wheel, but in this case it was like my car took the wheel and navigated me safely. Like there was cars all around. Like it was a major highway, like super busy highway. And I spun out. I spun around I think once. Could have been more because I was so not expecting it. And the car navigated me off the road and stopped herself on the median, and it was totally safe. And of course the drunk driver, it was a hit and run. Their front end was totally smashed in this Ford F-150 work truck, and I was just sitting there in shock. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe what's happening. And I look up to see like what happened to the truck, and the truck was annihilated. And the car had shut off, and I was just sitting there like breathing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call 911. And then I saw the truck just start back up and take off, and I'm like, and at that point I didn't know if any damage had been done to my car, so I didn't start back up and drive. I had no idea what was gonna happen, or what happened to my car. So I got out, I looked around, it was totally smashed up, and I called 911. I'm like, I just got hit by a drunk driver. And you know what the Austin police told me? They were like, oh yeah, like we're sorry, we don't have anyone that can help you, so just file a report online. I'm like, no, like there's a drunk driver loose right now, like that's driving down 35 that just hit me. Yeah, but file it online. No, thank you. Um, so I ended up actually like once I came to and was able to like rationalize the situation, and I stopped freaking out. I just like popped my bumper back into place, pulled my fender out. The wheel was just destroyed, but my tire still was holding air. And I drove to a construction site and found a police officer and made him uh, take a record of it. But the car for sure saved my life. Guarantee it. I would not have had the skill set at that point in time without being prepared to like actually navigate myself. So, um, I and it's been repaired and it's totally fine now. And you couldn't tell, like the painter did a phenomenal job. Um, but that car is like super special to me now. So I kind of like don't want to get rid of it also, just because like first of all, you know, I'm worried about the value of it. Like I've been paying, like it's a leased vehicle. I have no idea like what's gonna, like how much I'm gonna owe on it to buy it. I don't know. I have no idea. But it's gonna be worth nothing to anybody except for me, because it's, you know, it was priceless. They did not, Anthony. Nope, that person is still at large. It is what it is. Um, yeah, for sure. I don't know, you guys. It's getting late, and I've been talking for a while, so we're gonna get back to it. We are gonna get back to it. I eventually I need to finish a project I'm doing today. I'm building an engine cradle for my 7M for when I actually do finish it. because I will finish it, people. I will finish it, okay? And when I do finish it, I need to put it on a little stand, a little like roll around stand, and be able to put it on my trailer and bring it home. So, I'm building a little trailer right now. Well, I bought a trailer that's like for $100, like a crappy trailer, like a totally crappy trailer that I just saw on the side of the road for sale. And I'm like, that's mine. Oh my God, thank you. Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God, what the? I'm barely catching up. Oh my gosh, what is you people? I'm really grateful for all of you. Dark Blaze, thank you so much. Oh, that is really cool. Oh, that is what a cool build. I know I'm the same. It's just, and I'm not saying that the 2J is not cool. Like the 2J is a fantastic engine. It's phenomenal. Like I'm in awe of it. I've never had anything 2J powered. I have a lot of friends with 2J powered cars, not just Supras, but like a lot of 2J swaps. I think they're freaking phenomenal engines and they give Toyota a great reputation. So I'm not against 2Js at all. I love them. What I am against, I'm not against it, but like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm over people telling me like, oh, just 1J swap, it'll be easier. If I was looking for easy, I would, well, at the time I wasn't looking for easy. At the time I was looking for affordable. And clearly my 7M build has not been affordable, but that's why it's taken me so long. It's like, all right, you know, part by part. That's not that's not it. At this point, it's a lifestyle. No, at this point, it's been a really cool learning opportunity. And I kind of like the underdog stuff a little bit. You know, it's like it has such a bad reputation. I love the idea of just making it reliable, not making crazy horsepower. Like I was saying, it's like everyone is always asking me my numbers. Like honestly, like it already had too much horsepower for me to handle. Like I'm not a professional race car driver. I'm a mechanic. Like I don't do track days. I don't really do autocrosses. I've done a few because they're fun, but like that's I just want to drive the thing, man. I want to road trip in it. I just want it to be reliable. So I'm hoping for 350 horsepower, 400. That'd be cool. Um, I mean, the Mark V already has too much for me. Like it already breaks tires loose, and I'm just like trying to accelerate from like I don't like around somebody. Like I don't. It's already too much. Like I already love it. I mean, I love the idea of a 700 horsepower build. I love the idea of a 1,000 horsepower build. That is so cool. Just like from like mechanically, it's cool. But I'm I'm not doing one. Sorry. Oh my gosh, y'all are phenomenal. I'm so great. Oh my god. Um, let's see. Shopcat, thank you so much. Good night. Thank you so much for being here. If you have a spare moment, stop by your channel. I try so hard to, especially people that are like loyal supporters and people that I see in the chats all the time. I always try to check out their channels. I just don't have time. Like I literally do not watch any any YouTube. I try really hard to catch up on some of my friends' videos, and man, I just don't have the time. I somehow have time to do 2 hours of live stream on a Friday, which is insane. But the 7M needs a better oiling system. Yeah, that is definitely something that's a little bit of I mean, also I feel like it's weird for people because it's high volume, low pressure. So I think also like a lot of people will look at it and get a little bit freaked out about their oil pressure through reading on their gauge because they're just not used to it compared to other vehicles. So I put my car back to stock so it'll quit breaking. Am I gonna do the Hoopty Christmas special again? I don't know. I have no idea. They sort of, I don't know what they do with planning that, but I normally hear about that kind of last minute. And then I'm just lucky if I'm available. So I don't know. If they invite me back, I will always do it again because I think it is so fun. And I really like working with Freiberger. He's hilarious and just a cool like human. So Corey's asking, why do you prefer imports? I mean, I wouldn't say that I prefer anything. I worked at an independent, well, so I started my love of Volkswagens because like I said, I grew up without television, still have never had a television, still don't watch television. So like the movies that I've seen are like super few and far between. but there was like, my mother would tell you that I came out of the womb loving cars. Always loved cars. And then I saw this movie that probably a lot of you have seen, but like the original Herbie the Love Bug, and like as like a little kid, and I watched it at my grandma's house. And you know, at that point in my life, like any movie that I saw was a huge deal, and I remembered it. Like that, I think that was the second movie I ever saw. I saw Fern Gully in theaters. That was also like, well, I'm dating myself there a little bit. Fern Gully, great movie. Kind of a little propaganda-y, but that's fine. Um, great movie. Herbie the Love Bug, and I remember just like loving the story of the race car driver that like his teammate, like his partner, was his car. You know, like the car was a part of the race team, and they communicated, and it was just like at that point in my life, I personified everything anyway. I still do. So I personified my cars even more, and then I started collecting Volkswagen Beetle and bus figurines as a child. And so I just had this soft spot in my heart for Volkswagens. So when I first decided that I was going to be a mechanic, I decided I was going to be a Volkswagen mechanic just because of my love of Beetles and buses. And that's, I mean, there's no complicated explanation. That's it. Sorry for the disappointment, people, but that's what it is. And so then I went to work at a Volkswagen Audi shop, and I had a great experience, and I loved it so much. That was Banchworks in Providence, Rhode Island, which still exists. So if you're local to Providence, Rhode Island, go to Banchworks for your Volkswagen Audi needs, people. It is amazing. I love that shop. I used to work there. Tell them Faye says hi. Then after that, when I moved to Portland, I worked at an independent shop. And one thing that I learned from that was my only the second shop that I worked at. And I noticed that the best technicians that I knew had worked at a dealership first and then went on to an independent shop. So they had that baseline training, they had that special certification. So I was like, oh, I need to work at a dealership at some point in my career. So I started just noticing the cars that were coming through. And at that point, I was just an oil change slave. Like I was nothing fancy. I was just working the lube rack, and I was just sort of taking stock of the cars that were coming through. And I was noticing that I saw a lot of these Toyotas that were very poorly maintained that were lasting forever. I'm like, oh, like the first car that I ever saw with 300,000 miles on it was a Toyota, and I was like, oh, I couldn't believe that the thing was still alive, and the owner didn't give two craps about it. It was a Corolla, four-cylinder Corolla. Corolla or Camry? I think it was a Corolla. Shoot, now I can't remember. But it was it had the 5S engine. Uh well, anyway, I can't remember what it was. And I was just so impressed, and I was just like, wow, if I'm going to commit to a certain make of vehicle so much that I'm going to work at a dealership, it's got to be one that's like a really great product. And I'm like, Toyota's a great product. They last forever. And then I worked at the Toyota dealership, and that's really it. I mean, and falling in love with the Supra was like sort of a byproduct. I didn't know anything about the Supra. I just remember thinking to myself like, wow, Toyota's such a great product. It's too bad they don't make anything cool. But at that point, I didn't know because my scope for other cars outside of Volkswagen and Audi was so limited. And I was just working like a regular oil change job at a normal shop in Portland, Oregon. And there was just a lot of normal cars, just like regular commuter cars. And the only things that came, like the only Toyotas that came in were just like, Siennas, saw Solara once. It's like, I mean, just Camry, Corolla, like basic car. And then I just remember researching one day, like, did Toyota make anything cool? And I'm like, oh my God, the Supra is the coolest car ever. And that was it. Yes, Volkswagen is your drug of choice. Yeah, my gateway drug for sure. That's what I say. So that's it. But that's not to say that I don't go to a car show and appreciate everything there. I mean, I love all things. I think it's funny when people accuse me of not loving American products because I love Toyotas. Literally the Tundra and the 4Runner and the Tacoma are built here in San Antonio, like an hour south. There's nothing more American than the cars built right there by like my neighbors. So, I have not watched Initial D, but I've read all the comics. So 5-cylinder Audi is nuts. It is, yes. Yugo is an import. They rock. Um, I mainly oh, that is so cool. In a Mark II, I love the 7M swap in a Mark II. Freiberger, of course, had flip-flops on. I've never seen it without flip-flops on, honestly. So yes. Uh, David Johnson, I have several Herbies. I have more Herbies than anything else. Jay Benjamin, am I invisible? I don't know. I can't see you, so you might be. Let's see. Lord Penn, I'm an old school super builder. Do you have any old knowledge? Questions answered. Uh, Shoot. I'm being put on the spot. Not at this moment in time. Um, I mean, I guess there's like a few things with the oiling system. There's so many people that will pinch off their oil squirters on the 7M GTE because they feel like they fail or something like that, and like they lose pressure through them. That's not something that I'm planning on doing at all. I did, of course, change my relief valve that goes to my oil cooler because I have seen that fail, or friends with 7M builds have had that fail, but I've never heard of oil squirters failing or causing low oil pressure. So I don't know, maybe I'd take your input on that. But I'm sure I have a ton of questions. I'm just like, being caught off guard. I don't at the moment. But if you have an answer for that one, and thank you everyone for all your comments and questions and stuff like that. It's just a lower pressure, high flow. Yeah. And clean your oil often. Oh my gosh, yes. I use, they're not a sponsor, but I use Valvoline VR1 with zinc added racing oil, synthetic, and I changed every 3,000 miles. I am, I worked as an oil change slave for the first 4 years of my career, so I am crazy about changing oil. So, super tech. No, that's great. Yeah. And also like there's Joe Gibbs racing oil is really good. AMSOIL is also good. I think as long as there's a zinc additive in it for older engines, it's gonna be good. Like hot rod oil, I think, because those engines were made to for high zinc content. So I think as long as it's an oil with zinc, we're gonna be good. Or I'm gonna be good, and that's not like. And I know that there's like other brands that are quote unquote better. I have a friend of mine that is sponsored by or sells a pure oil who just swears by it. I'm not opposed to like the more like fancier high end oil brands. But there's something that I like also about just being able to go to any auto part store and pick up Valvoline VR1. I and that's and Valvoline does not pay me any money, so I'm not just blowing smoke up y'all's butts for nothing. I wish they paid me money. That would be cool because I like their product. And it's easier to find than AMSOIL. Obviously, you need a special AMSOIL. Wow. Okay, this is the first one that's low. So all right, we've come this far, and we're at. Oh no, nope, never mind. The first one was 298. I got excited. This one's 298 as well. Nope. 298.5. 298.5. That's going pretty far out. I'll call it 299. I'll call it 299. We're almost done. We're almost done. Zinc is lubrication instead of the old lead. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's called like a sacrificial, like it almost creates like a sacrificial layer or like coating on the metal components, right? So when you are wearing on the metal on metal components, you're wearing on that like zinc layer rather than the actual like components themselves. So, all right. Well, I have 4 more to go. I'm but I've been doing this live stream for way too long. I probably need to get headed. It is late. I'm starting to get hungry. I need tacos. Someone bought me tacos for my drive home. Well, I'll take tacos. Well, I don't know. Like, thank you guys so much for being here in my random live stream. Yes, always use full synthetic. Absolutely. I'm definitely a believer in full synthetic oil, actually. And Danny says that because of Smoky Eunuch, he now uses synthetic oil in everything, even to lube his door hinges. So Lawnmower says it gets dark in about 30 minutes. Yeah, I mean it's dark in here. No, that's fine. I got headlights. You guys, thank you so much for being here with me and watching my live stream and supporting me in this, because I was really hesitant. I was a little nervous to live stream for y'all without Danny and Shop Mom here. So it means a lot to me that y'all were here and being supportive and were actually interested. I'm just gonna finish up the rest of these off camera and just get them done, for the sake of getting them done. And I wish you all a fabulous Good Friday. And oh, Scott already said it. Peace, peace, and assembly grease. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.